Hey there, 8th graders, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us. Today, we're going to set the stage for literally transforming your writing skills. I mean, if you've ever stared blankly at a page or felt like your words just weren't flowing the way you wanted them to, well, you're in the perfect place. We're going to unlock a tool that will completely change the way you approach every single writing assignment from here on out.
Let's just be honest for a second here. Have you ever felt totally, absolutely stuck on a rough draft? You read the exact same paragraph 5 times and suddenly the words just look like alphabet soup. You're frustrated, you're hitting a creative wall, and you just don't know how to fix it. Listen, I want to validate that frustration right now. It is universal. Even the greatest authors in the world experience this. And you know why? It happens because you are simply too close to your own work. Your brain already knows what you meant to say, so it just kind of glosses over the mistakes.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our 6-part roadmap to get you unstuck today. Number 1, what is peer feedback? 2, why do we need it? 3, giving helpful feedback. 4, receiving without defensiveness. 5, putting it into practice. And finally, number 6, the godly learner philosophy.
All right, section 1. What is peer feedback? Before we can actually use this tool, we have to establish what it even is, right? So peer feedback is the act of sharing your work with a classmate to receive constructive suggestions, and this is the really key part, giving them feedback in return. It's essentially a partnership. It's not just a teacher grading your paper with a red pen. No way. It's a two-way street of sharing, collaborating, and actively helping each other reach that next level. Moving right along to section 2, why do we need it? To really anchor this lesson, let's look at a timeless truth from Scripture. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 tells us, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. This is such a beautiful verse, and it warmly reminds us of a fundamental fact of life. We aren't meant to do everything in total isolation. Working together, putting our heads together, it simply yields better rewards. Now, I know it's easy to view peer review days as, just another classroom chore, but I really want you to completely reframe that in your mind right now. This exercise, it's an incredible gift to writers, and the tangible rewards of this teamwork are just huge. Getting a fresh set of eyes on your draft helps you see your writing from a totally new perspective. A peer can catch those awkward, unclear sentences and spot missing details that you were just completely blind to. But here's the secret bonus. Giving feedback actually helps you grow. When you have to explain to someone else what's working or what could be better, you're actively training your own editing muscles. That back and forth makes you a way better communicator in literally all parts of life. Section 3, giving helpful feedback. So we know it's beneficial, but how do we actually do it without, hurting anyone's feelings? Well, it all starts with empathy. If you're the one giving the critique, there are 4 golden rules. First, agree on the rules beforehand, which basically boils down to, above all, be kind. Second, focus on the writing, not the writer. We have to separate the art from the artist. You aren't critiquing your classmate, you're critiquing words on a piece of paper. Third, always start by pointing out a strength, something they did really well. And fourth, share just 1 or 2 specific ideas to improve. Think of this as the compliment sandwich strategy. You cushion the constructive critique with kindness, so you're building them up rather than crushing their feelings. Section 4, receiving without defensiveness. I'll let you in on a little secret. For most young writers, and actually scratch that, even adult writers, this is often the hardest part of the entire process. When someone is critiquing your hard work, human nature just desperately wants to jump in and defend it. But as the receiver, you've got rules too. Rule 1, listen carefully to the suggestions. Seriously, keep your shields down. Rule 2, take notes on what's being said. And Rule 3, ask questions if you don't understand. Notice what isn't on this list? Arguing back. Your job here is active listening and note-taking. You can always decide later which advice you actually want to keep, but in that moment, just listen. So the crucial point here is this massive foundational mindset shift. Feedback is a gift to help you grow. It's not a personal attack. When your classmate says, hey, this ending feels a little rushed, they aren't saying you're a bad writer. Not at all. They're handing you a gift. It's an opportunity to add 2 more sentences and make your story absolutely incredible. Okay, section 5, putting it into practice. We've talked about the rules, but we really need to show, rather than tell, exactly what good and bad critique looks like out in the real world. Think about vague feedback for a second. Imagine handing your heart and soul on paper to a friend, and they look at it and say in this flat, completely unimpressed tone, it's fine, or I don't like it. I mean, that gives you absolutely nothing to work with. Now compare that to helpful feedback. Imagine they say, your dialogue sounds real, but adding more description of the setting could make the scene even stronger. See the difference? That is precise, it's kind, and it gives the writer a highly specific, actionable step to improve. All right, time for a rapid-fire interactive review. Knowledge check number 1. Based on what we've learned so far, what are 2 qualities of good feedback? And why should we focus on the writing instead of the writer? Take a second to think about it. Got it? Good feedback is kind and specific, and we focus on the writing because of empathy. We absolutely want to avoid personal attacks and keep the whole collaboration safe and constructive. Moving on to knowledge check number 2. What's an example of a vague comment, and how should you respond if you completely disagree with someone's feedback? Well, a vague comment would be something like, "It's good." And if you disagree with their feedback, remember those conflict resolution skills for the workshop session. Keep your shields down, you listen, you take notes, and you respectfully ask questions. You totally don't have to agree with everything, but you must receive it with grace. Which brings us to our final section, Section 6, the Godly Learner Philosophy. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the really big picture here. The Godly Learner series intertwines biblical morality with education because fundamentally, education without morality is gonna hurt. I mean, what's the point of being smart, having great editing skills, and being supposedly educated if we continue to make bad choices that hurt people? Academic skills absolutely must be paired with morality. If you're a brilliant writer, but you use your words to tear down your classmates during a feedback session, that intelligence is just being used poorly. Furthermore, engaging with a spiritual mindset brings true peace. Just as Romans chapter 8, verses 6 and 7 promises us, there is peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. And really, this is the ultimate goal of the Godly Learner series. When you approach your education, your writing, and your classmates with a moral, spiritually grounded, and genuinely kind mindset, you don't just become a better student, you experience real, genuine peace in your daily life. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. We've equipped you with the mechanics of great editing and the mindset of a truly compassionate classmate. How will you use both knowledge and kindness in your very next writing workshop? Challenge yourself to bring that perfect balance of skill and empathy into your classroom tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I honestly can't wait to see the incredible writers you become.